Welcome to the Continuum's second issue as it hits Kickstarter with a superhero landing, and it's out to explore HEROiX, featuring the origin of Eightfall and the beginnings of the Hardcore Chronicles. This is In Harm's Way, Part 1. An angel from Sad Hell takes a stand as we see this angel's origin. It's the angel of Sad Hell. A young woman who glows blue has to decide what her future is as she tries to run from the past while playing hero. It's going to be a blue Christmas. A hero takes on an after-school job and gets more than he bargained for, along with his team and the legacy of the View, the after-school job. And Mr. Anderson is back with a new tale about a reluctant hero who'd rather be wrestling and is now heroing by the hour. And the continuum changes forever in this issue. Back it now so you can find out how. Thank you for watching. Considering that. Welcome to Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Our judges watch crowdfunding videos on air. When they lose interest in a video, for any reason, they hit pause and explain what caused them to experience Backer Pause. This is a fun way to teach creators about attention spans and what works and does not work for their videos. Videos featured from projects that are being advocated for on comicbookadvocates.com with permission. Want to be judged? Have a crowdfunding campaign you want to have on the show? Well, send us an email at comicsnewswire@yahoo.com, and that's comics, C-O-M-I-X. So who wants to play? Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. This is going to be a HEROiX of a night. We're going to talk about the campaign. We're going to talk about all the different stuff crowdfunding right now, the awesomeness that it is. You guys get to pick what you back. Thank you for tuning in. We are live despite the bad weather. If I suddenly disappear, don't take it personally. I've been having some weather out here. So when you can, come hang out as soon as possible. And we got a lot of stuff to show you tonight. I'm waiting on some people to get here to join me. I am here with you guys right now, and this is the HEROiX campaign that you're seeing right there in front of your own eyes. We are live, and this campaign is a little different than normal because it's got a social media aspect to it. It's got the feeling that you're on social media, and we're gonna dive right into that right now because I want to show off some things that we got going on that I think can benefit in the near future. Sorry, we're just having some link issues today. For some reason, the links aren't going through right. But here we go. I'm going to share my screen. You guys are going to see how this is a much different campaign that you might be used to. And I want to hear your feedback on this. I did this deliberately to kind of have a different feel to it. First off, we actually, right up here, mentioned this important thing. Turn your phone side. If you're on the Kickstarter app, turn sideways now. So that's going to give you a different aspect. Right? Ooh, sorry. Right there, it'll say to turn it sideways. That'll help give you a different aspect ratio. In other words, it lets the screen be bigger so it's easier to read all the information. So we have the basic stuff, and then we start giving you things that look like you're on social media.
I wanted to interact with both the social medias, and when you actually click these things, they do take you to the original posting places. So I made this very interactive. Jax thinks it's great. You hear him clapping in the background. We also added something I've never seen before, TikTok videos.
In Continuum HEROiX, I get a chance to revisit a character that I actually started off with. Up there, that's the first cover I've ever done, probably the only cover I'll ever do that's drawn. And it meant so much to me. It's created by Atreyu. It's the story of a young woman's journey through life when she has powers and how it affects us. I actually check this out. You see those panels? Those were the original comic. I get to make a whole story about that called Gothic Blue Christmas. It's a young woman's journey comes to a pivotal moment on Christmas Eve. She is visited by the future while her past and present are examined. It's like, a classic Christmas tale. I wanted to do something different, so check it out. For those of you who are fans of the 90s video games, part of the story is going to be told in this unique fashion where we're going to see art and then we're going to see story. It's a hybrid. All backers will get the original PDF, so it makes sense. Thank you for watching.
And joining me right now is Mike Seeley, who is already tasked with making a cover on this. He's a partner in Continuum. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Mike.
I'm Mike Seeley. I'm an artist, first creator of Eclipse, up and coming issue. It started in the Continuum, splashed out with 6 pages in the first issue of Continuum. I've been doing art for pretty much most of my life. I do a little bit of art for Marvel and doing some stuff with Upper Deck and Tops, and also some DC projects I've done in the past. So art is where I'm at.
So now let me ask you a question while I have you here with me. Why is the Continuum important to you? Because you don't even have a story in this, but like, why is this particular HEROiX book important to you?
Because I see it's a lot of awesome talent out there that need to be seen. And I feel like the Continuum is a great avenue to get together very talented creators where they have an opportunity to be seen, to make a splash, and we can all grow together. So many people are so close to the cusp of being at their top of their game, and so we're just trying to shine some light on that.
Now, HEROiX, this is actually an opportunity to launch an actual imprint as well, isn't that true?
Yeah, we got like Continuum, like the first issue, second issue, same thing. We got a lot of ideas out there, some samples of what's happening, and just like the Eclipse started as a intro, it's actually gonna springboard into a whole HEROiC line of characters and universes. That's definitely what we all know and love, like Marvel, DC, all the movies that we love to watch, and just having our own piece of that pie.
And there will be, for those who don't know, this is actually going to move us into an imprint for HEROiX, which you're actually going to be the editor-in-chief of. Can you explain why you thought this was a time where we needed it? Because the HEROiX itself is very different for you. I know you wanted to kind of invite all ages into this. So the HEROiX line itself is going to be more geared towards not necessarily all ages, like it's teen and above. But you always said you wanted it to be like the Marvel and DC book that you see at the store.
Yeah. As far as being professional, being very quality is what we're looking for. I'm a hero follower at its heart, but we have some things that we want to tap into some of the younger crowds that love anime, they love manga. So we want to introduce and bring that up and create as well those avenues and HEROiX. I mean, who doesn't? How many billions of dollars did Marvel make when doing the MCU? How many people went to see it? People's grandmothers to little kids. So that's, we want to create that type of magic and excitement when we're dealing with heroes, because everybody wants to be a hero or is trying to be a hero.
Isn't that the truth? So you've seen the video, you've seen this, and you've seen the response that we've gotten today, and we've already gotten 22 backers, $510. Would you say that we're getting to a place where heroes are going to become more popular? Because it kind of almost went for vigilantes for a long time. We're more popular. Do you think we're seeing a swing?
I think so. I think underneath we all kind of looking for a hero, especially when we face we've seen some tumultuous times the last few years, and you know, people want, when it comes down to it, even the bad guys feel like they're heroes. You know, whether it's a villain in the story, they kind of somehow think that they're saving somebody or helping in some way, and when they do a complex character like that. And I feel like there's people in the world that feel like they're heroes and they act villainous, but they portray themselves as heroes.
And in this book, we actually get to introduce, and we hope to have him on the show soon, M.D. McDonald, and he does amazing things with Swerve Comics. The 8-Ball story is amazing, but he's also helped us not reinvent, but I would say evolve exactly what the Continuum is going to be going forward and the importance of it. So we hope to have him on. Without giving anything away, what do you think about what MD and me have been sitting around? And because he got it, and I remember the first time you told me what he was thinking, I was like, that's exactly what I was kind of thinking. I just didn't know how we were going to do it. So me and him got together. He had some amazing ideas. I was like, yeah, just tweak this, tweak that, and then we're going to have something cool. What do you think about it?
I think it's brilliant because he's an artist, but actually I feel like he's a creator and writer first, but he happens to be a phenomenal artist on top of that. So to hear you communicate with him on that writer level, and then just the way he describes things is just exciting. He has a whole universe that the world will be chomping at the bit to get to see. So seeing 8-Ball show up in the Continuum is a privilege and an honor, and we're excited to be part of the springboard of what he's got in store for the Swerveverse.
Now, not only are you doing an alternate cover and a possible Gothic Blue alternate cover if we hit our stretch goals, because we actually did a bunch of stretch goals, but you also are part of coloring and adding a little bit of color to the HEROiX book. What did you think about the one character in the book who wants to get paid for being a hero? Because you've gotten to see that and play with that. Did that kind of draw your attention? Because we really do it in HEROiX in this.
I thought it was a really cool idea and concept, because I feel like in reality, there's probably going to be more people, if they had super powers, that they would be geared that way. Where it'd be like kind of what's the show called with the major marketing on it?
The Boys.
The Boys. And where the marketing, getting branding, it's definitely. And I know you wrote this a while ago, but it's definitely got a cool twist, because this guy is definitely enjoys the theatrics of like wrestling. When you think of wrestling, you think of bigger than life and exaggerating and stuff like that. And I think that's going to play into him majorly in future stories.
Now, for those who don't know, the Continuums is always going to be just a taste of the stories. You're going to get really short, foreverless stories, and some of them are going to get greenlit. Perfect example, Eclipse. We got such great feedback for Eclipse. That's going straight to an issue. Wolf and Fox is going to have one more part. A part 2 will show up, and that's just so we can introduce Fox, but that has already been announced that will be in HEROiX as its own actual series coming in 2022. So there's also going to be trading cards we're going to be talking about. I think
I'm excited about that.
Aspect is going to be cool. And for those, really quick, if you back it today while you're watching this, and Mike, I think we should extend it because of the bad weather today. We'll extend it till tomorrow morning around, we'll call it noon tomorrow. I'll change it. You guys can get the $10 issue with plus shipping. So it's a day one offer. We'll extend it to tomorrow because we had some problems with weather down here in Florida. But more importantly, with these cards, you're going to notice that we do Series 2 first before Series 1. The reason is when we decided to do the cards, we were just going to do cards. And we decided that we couldn't have Series 1 be for the second issue because this is going to be the Legacy #2 issue for it. So we actually released the 2 because it goes with this. But I'll tell everyone watching Backer Pause, and I'm gonna make Mike turn a little red here. He has created the look of Fox, and it's amazing. I get to say that as the person who created the character. I love where we're going with it. No one has seen it. Like, I think that only you, me, and Marvin have actually seen Fox at this moment. And here's the thing. We're not going to release how she looks until September, except if we get to this stretch goal, you guys will not only get to get a sneak peek of her, but you guys will be getting that card. So you'll be able to get information about her. Because on the back of these cards, there'll be little tidbits. We're going to give the powers and then just a little tidbit about the character. So you get a preview of it. But that's a little bit away. That's when we have to get to 2021 for the Series 1. And we have not only stretch goals, but we have incentives. So what's the difference between an incentive and a stretch goal? Stretch goals add something that you guys can have put on it. Incentives are things that everyone is going to get. So our incentives are like everyone's going to get a physical backers will get the HEROiX sticker. The reason that's not for PDF, you're not paying for shipping, guys. So it's just the reality. We'll send you the sticker in a PDF, though. No problem. At 1900, all backers are going to get the upcoming Trading Card Series #1 preview. You're going to get a first look before anyone else. So you guys are going to get to see something. There's also going to be a mini poster if we hit 2050. We don't even know what the mini poster is yet because you got to get us there first. And once we get there, you'll all get it. The reason it's a mini poster is it will be the size of a comic book and probably printed on comic book paper if we can. So we'll talk to our printer, which is Comics Impressions right here in Cape Coral. We'll be talking to them about how we can do that with a mini poster for you. And Dustin, hopefully, are you coming in, Dustin? Dustin's got a Kickstarter today.
We may be getting another. Peterson might be coming on as well.
Yeah, we might be getting another creator from the Continue Presents HEROiX. That's the official title of this, and this will launch the imprint HEROiX Comics. Now, we don't want to take the whole night about this. We just want to show off the Instagram model picture where the smolder is definite, and there's an art guy. There's an art guy. Oh no, Dustin, I meant, do you want to come on screen with us? I sent you the link. Come on in, hang out with us. And as a matter of fact, we'll start off with Dustin's Whisper, and we'll play Backer Pause. Are you ready? Are you ready to play? Hold on, let's see. There was something wrong with the links when I was trying to give you guys the links today. So let me throw him the link now so he can join us, and we'll start playing this. So because he's a guest, you're going to have to watch the whole video. But the cool thing is that you'll be able to give your comments. Are you ready to play, Mike Seeley?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is The Listener.
It's that time again, guys. The Listener Book 3 is out. Beginnings. We're really excited to bring this to you. We put a lot of work into it. So far, the entire team thinks this is the best issue we've done yet. I don't know about you, but that's really enticing to me. Our buddy ES just put together a quick video for you guys, a really nice trailer. Why don't you check that out real quick, and then we'll get into this some more. How about that trailer? That was pretty cool, huh? So now we're getting into the very first listener, Addie's grandfather, how he becomes a listener, and what's going on with those types of things. You know, now we're also moving into the fact that we're introducing the hunt for Sani. Gnostus is hot on his heels and ready to reclaim vengeance on the betrayer. You know, we've moved into a certain direction, and it's a very much more spiritual issue. We're on the other side, in the other side for the first time. You know, we haven't shown much of that yet so far, so we're excited to bring that to you guys. The spiritual aspect of the listener versus just the very animalistic nature of the book. Moving forward, though, this is the last issue that we're doing before the trade paperback. So make sure you guys catch up before then, because we're not releasing the trade paperback until October. You know, it's an exciting time for us as a team, and it's a milestone for our series, I think. You know, we've got a lot of great reviews. Speaking of reviews, before I let you go, though, we've got a couple that we'd like to play at the end of this video, so stick around. It's going to be great. Now, going forward, we've also got some packs and tiers that we've introduced for this particular Kickstarter, you know, and thank you guys for making this possible. You know, we've got the fans to do things like this now. So we've got Gabriella's pack, we've got a pack for Marissa, and we've got a pack for Adam. These packs contain all 3 of the characters' covers for each book, 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's also really cool that you guys can go in and pick, you know, which artist you like the most and still get the story that you want to read. That's very exciting for us. We've also got a store retailer pack. Now, the retailer pack is really neat because it has X amount of books the retailer can pick through and add to their own inventory. And we'd love to see our books in your stores. So stick around for those reviews. Check them out. Reach out to me if you need anything, guys. And don't forget, someone's always listening.
Hey guys, so I just got a copy of issue 1 and issue 2 of The Listener, and oh my gosh, it is freaking fantastic.
Okay, I'm going to take out the reviews because that's not really you adding the stuff to it. So there's Mike Seeley's face, and we're also joined with, I should say, Peterson. Welcome to the show, Peterson. So Dustin, before they have anything to say there, I just want you to introduce yourself, and I want Peterson to introduce themselves so our audience knows who they're talking to. So Dustin, you're up first.
For sure. Hold on. Let me take off full screen because it gets so dark.
Yeah.
I'm Dustin Burnell. I'm the writer, creator of The Listener, as well as Greed. I also write for Totally Rad Comics. I don't know. I've been writing for about a year now. I've got this is my 4th published book. The Listener comes out bi-monthly, so we drop an issue literally every other month. We've got a pretty steady stream of content coming out. And yeah, I mean, I'm a dad, I'm a fun guy, and I like backer paws. So that's me.
Sorry, I was chewing. Hello, I'm Peterson. I'm the creator and artist of The Angel of Sad Hill. And we've done issue 1. We went through Kickstarter, we had it backed, and now I'm on the path of finishing up issue 2 and 3. So just happy to be here. And I like candy. How's everybody doing?
You're on mute.
Oh, shit.
There we go. Hey, let's try this again. Peterson, this is your first time on the show. Welcome to it. And talented creator, we're happy to have you. So go ahead, Mike. You got to see the whole video of Dustin. What did you think of Dustin's Whisper video?
I like the movie thing. I wish I could see some of the pages. Because I've never seen The Listener, I'm not familiar with it. So I kind of wish it was a little bit more catchy for those who are new being introduced. Because I think when you speak, you're speaking to some of the people that already follow you and have already backed some of the stuff. But I feel like they're gonna back you regardless because they already hooked if they've got your other stuff. So the only thing I would suggest is more to yoke in the newcomers. So you just add to that. That's just my suggestion.
No, that makes perfect sense, man. I think that, and you'll ask Rob. Rob will tell you. I hate making the video. That's my, I love writing and I like doing the Kickstarter and building the Kickstarter up and stuff. The video is the worst part for me. So it's like I get in there and I'm like, okay, you know, here's this or how I feel about this. I'm on my like 5th video, and you know, you've been doing this a hot minute. So if you start talking about yourself the same amount all the time, it's like you get to this point where it's like, man, you know, and I get that we need to talk to newer listeners and bring people in and whatnot. But there's so little time, I think. And that's where I was trying to go with the reviews. You know what I mean? I was like, I can get people that have read the books, because you get to a point where you've said it, you know what I mean? And people can hear you say it, you know, numerous times. But if other people say it, it lends a little bit more credence, in my opinion, to what we're doing. So that, I think that was my only redeeming thing with that. But yeah, absolutely, I agree. Definitely need to add some images. And until this particular Kickstarter, I was very yeah, Rob's got that thing up in the middle. I was very cautious about what I showed on social media. You know,
I
like
understand,
when
yeah.
it comes to our pages and whatnot. I was and I call it stingy. I was real stingy about stuff on social media, because I always felt like I didn't want to give the cow away. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I understand. It's like
So-
a trailer for a movie.
Right.
Some give too much away. I believe Rob got kicked off because he lost power earlier.
Oh
and
yeah,
so
for
he may
sure,
be
for
coming
sure.
back on. So I mean, we'll continue to speak on it. That's why it's weird setup right now, because he got kicked off
right on.
earlier. That's why we started a little later, because he was having power issues in his part of Florida, which is not far from mine, but I was kind of okay. But he's more coastal,
For sure.
closer to coast. So, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But it's weird when you're constantly talking about something that you think is always people have already heard it.
For sure.
But I try to remind myself that there's new people all the time. Only reason why I say that is because even on my Instagram and even my Facebook, and I'll post stuff pretty commonly, you still have people saying, I don't know what Kickstarter is, I don't know what Indiegogo is. And so
Right.
I'm like relearning and reteaching people about it, and even the comic book reteaching people on it. So
For sure. That makes perfect sense. You know, there's so much that we learn, you know, every time we do this. Like, I feel like that as we make Kickstarters, they get better. Like this is my 4th Kickstarter in like 6 months. So it's like, I mean, I'm thankful we've backed all of ours every time, you know. So it's like I'm learning as I go, just trying to make myself better and to appeal better to people, and you know, show them more content. Like my not my writer, but my interior artist was like, "Hey, dude, we're gonna show pages off this time," and I was like, "All right." So we showed a couple pages off from each book on the Kickstarter this time, which
That's
I thought
cool.
was cool, that you guys can see the evolution of where our books have come from to where they are now. You know,
Right.
because the first time you do it, I mean, I've owned a comic shop. I've worked in selling comics professionally for years now, but it was like creating a comic book was an entirely different animal, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like how,
Different.
you know, when we go in there, it's like you think you know a lot until you jump into it, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't know anywhere near what I thought I did. So
Yeah, I'm sure Peterson can speak on that too, as far as the beast of creating
For sure.
your own comic kind of thing, because he's created multiple. He's done quite a few comics.
Right.
What's your thought on it, Peterson?
Well, on the creating a book and writing itself is already like such a daunting task, you know. And then drawing it, and then thinking about the Kickstarter, you know, like my secret weapon is my wife. You know, she did a lot of research, and I talk with Rob, and I talk with Mike and other people who backed their Kickstarters. And I think I did a bunch of research. So this is your 3rd Kickstarter, you said?
This is my fourth Kickstarter, and it's already funded. It funded in less than a little under a week and a half.
That's good.
So it's just, and I'm appreciative, you know what I mean? And but it's like I'm that guy that I try not to talk ahead of myself when it comes to my Kickstarters. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of folks that come out and they've got amazing talent, but it's not all about that. It's about how you market yourself, who you put yourself in front of. You know, who's the who. You know, who's the who that you're bringing in. You know, because like if you look at I kill myself, right? I've had to learn to stay away from my Kickstarter. You know, because it's like I'll be watching it all the time. But there's like if you go back and I look at the graphs of my books, they've consecutively gotten better over time and funded faster. You know what I'm saying? Like my last one was 3 weeks. This one was just under 2 weeks. You know, it becomes this whole, you know, like I said, marketing yourself. Do you know that person? Who can you show it to? The listener was hard. And I'll put that out there because of the content. You know, very niche Native American World War II type of deal was. It was written because my uncle died. It wasn't like it wasn't planned. It was like it was all from the heart and stuff. So when it came out and it did well, it was like, okay, that's cool because we know people in the industry. You know, and that's what I thought. You know, that's what I thought originally. I was like, these are all my friends and my allies in this industry.
Because you had a comic book store, so
right.
You thought it was more from that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was like, hey, look, these are people I know in the industry, from artists to writers to people that have signed books in my shop. You know what I mean? So then it was like, okay, book 2, whole different animal. You know what I mean? And it was like, all right, well, I'm learning this, this, and this. I'm realizing it wasn't just my buddies that are back in the book. You know, it's people that feel, you know, and vibe with what you got going on. Because I don't write superhero books. So like I said, it's a very niche type of book that you're reading. And then I put Greed out after that. And Greed is in the same world.
Greed.
Yeah.
You did Greed just before this one.
Yeah.
That video really caught me.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate it. Greed was a lot of fun, you know, and we're working on issue 2 right now. I'll say that I'm grateful because Greed was backed by a whole different group of people. You know what I mean? It was like a whole different group of people. And that's what I'm saying, Peterson, when you come into it, marketing toward who you know is going to buy the book is the best strategy I can give you. Because with the Greed, you got a kid and his monster under the bed, and people vibe with that. It's easier for people to vibe with that than a Native American soldier that don't.
They can connect, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more lighthearted. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's not a kid's book, because it's not a kid's book, but it's still easier for people to vibe with. Mm-hmm. But it's just, you know, Chuck Pinot told me once, he was like, hey, it's not like owning a shop. When you own a shop, your books have a shelf life. You know, and that's true. That's a fact. They have a shelf life. So, you know, you've got a month to sell a book. If it isn't sold in the month, it's going in the dollar bin, and that's it. Because people have already read it online. They picked it up, you know, digitally, wherever. But when it comes to Kickstarter books, your sales should increase because you're building a following and a fan base. It had me in tears about 2 weeks ago. I'm pretty sure I told Rob about it when it happened. I told a bunch of people. I got my first fan art and didn't know what to do with myself. You know, so
nice.
I mean, you vibe with it, man. It gets cool, you know. And I'm excited to see what you do, dude. I'm excited to see where you take it. You know, it's wild. You know, you're either the thing is, like I said, you can't use an individual as an example. Like you can't use me, you can't use Rob, you can't use Mike, because everybody's different. You know, everybody's Kickstarter is different. I walked in and I was popping off 2K Kickstarters to start, you know, because I didn't know no better. I put 2,400 down as my goal, and I made like 2,600. You know, at first Kickstarter, you know, second Kickstarter was about the same, third Kickstarter was about the same, but they're faster now. You know what I'm saying? Because people, you're building a fan base.
Yeah.
But there are a bunch of cats, man, and I feel for them. There are a bunch of cats that go for 2 and 3 Kickstarters that don't meet their goals. You know what I mean? So you got to find your vibe, man. You got to find where you sit right. You know, and that's for anybody with a Kickstarter, man. That's not just for, you know, you got to find a group of people that you can vibe with and make sure you're marketing to those people. I mean, look at Continuum. You guys are banging 24 backers.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
You guys are banging.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Definitely excited.
Speaking of it, Peterson, I was gone because I've lost power for the 5th time. I'm on my laptop now, so hopefully I have backup. Did you explain your story to everyone?
My the comic.
The story within this, because you're giving us a unique look at this in an alternate cover that no one's ever seen before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yes. Wow. So there's a version cover, and I think I gave like, was it like 6 or 9 pages, Mike?
I think it was 8 pages. We got 8 pages.
8 pages.
Yeah, you got 8 pages, and you kind of curated it because the way you told the story when you originally did the Kickstarter, it was leveled a certain way. So when you had to curate it, as if somebody's walking into the story, they get a little bit more of the action of it.
Yeah.
So that was really cool how you did it, because it was cut up more like a movie when you build into the story.
Yeah, it was like a trailer, like an 8-page trailer, because like the pages themselves, like the way I wrote the comic, it was really based on like the way the Shadow is from the 80s. Like each page is like a different scenario, and the story is just like off the hinges fast. So I would set up a page, and the next page you're in a different scenario, and then it's great if you're reading the comic, but if you're gonna show it sequentially to somebody, it almost doesn't make sense. So I had to pick up pages that went sequential, and then put them together, and then it works as a preview. It sounds bad, but the comic makes sense.
I think it comes together. Yeah.
Yeah, the comic. I know what I'm doing. The comic makes sense. It's just I had to like.
Well, you did it like Marvel and DC do it. Marvel and DC do the same. It's like a trailer. You made a comic book trailer that gets someone enough in that once they read what you gave us, they're going to run out and want the whole issue. And that's also a great thing we can do at the Continuum, is to bring a spotlight onto you. Like Dustin was saying, there is no shelf life. You did that Kickstarter. You got the second one coming up. If we can get you more fans for that second one that's going to be hitting in the next couple months, then boom, we're building you, and now you're part of our library. And like you said, we hung out. We've been at a table. You were one of the first people we wanted in the Continuum, because this is about a library creation. Eventually, we're going to be bothering Dustin to come join us. We're gonna want everyone in this library. The goal is 100 issues, so we got plenty of time, plenty of room, and we want everyone to come play in this space and help everyone rise together. Everyone gets into comics and they talk about how they're going to rise together, but then they never try to do it. They all try to stab each other in the back like this is Game of Thrones. It's not. Stop trying to take off everyone else's plate. Worry about what's on your plate, eat on your plate, and then offer other people to sit at your table. That's what we're doing to Continuum. That's what it is. We want a big table. It doesn't mean we're going to invite everyone, because like Tupac said, just because I don't want you at my table doesn't mean I want you to starve, but it definitely means I ain't going to invite you to my table. But we want the industry to come together in a way that's meaningful and create a library that's awesome. And that's the goal. Like Mike said, it's about quality. Is it something we would buy? We're never going to put anything in the book that we wouldn't spend money on. And that's just the result.
Well, I think it's cool. I love the concept of this. I think a lot of people have tried it and been unsuccessful at doing it. So it's interesting to see you guys come together positively and put this thing out. You know what I mean? I think that's really, really cool. I look forward to, I'm 100%. I'll write a story for you guys all day long. You know what I mean? But there's certain things that I find interesting, about the Kickstarter. I think all the art's great. Mind you, there are a billion things going on, and I have not gone through each panel of this, but there's some really cool stuff going on, man. I think you guys are on the right track.
Now, also, Peterson, I think this is the first time you're looking at it, and the same thing, Dustin. We're trying to tap into that familiarity. So we've had a couple early people who have looked at this for me, have said that they forget they're on actually Kickstarter, because this looks more like a social media feed. What do you guys think about that?
Are we being candid, Rob? Yeah. I don't care for it. I honestly don't. I think that there's a lot. There's so much information here that I get very lost in what I'm picking up. It's great information, but it's like what you and I have had this conversation with videos. a video can only be so long or people lose their attention with it, you know? So you're getting down the page and you're like, wow, this is nuts. This is really cool. I forgot what I was looking at up here because this is really cool down here. You know, there's so much cool stuff to see, but it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. And my only suggestion would be to find some way to condense all this amazing information. That would be my only critique about it, because there is so much, though, that I don't even know how you do that. You know, there's all this awesome artwork. There's all these cool stories. I don't know how you do it. I'm not the guy to ask for that, but it's a lot to me. You know.
What do you think, Peterson?
I don't know. It's you can still see the pledges on the right? So that's easy enough to get to, right?
Yeah. We didn't change it. We use the same format. We didn't change any of the code. We just changed how, because normally what you see is either a lot of text, and Mike hates text. Mike will tell me right away, we need art. And I knew that right away going into this, because Mike is not a reader. He is just not. He'll read the story with the art, and then if he likes it, he'll literally go back and read it. And for the first time, like I've had to show him things, and he's like, it's like, I don't know. I'm like, just read this. And he looks at it. I see him flipping really quickly, and he's like, okay, it's good. And he goes back to the first page, and he actually starts to read it.
Yeah, you lose me with the art. But I'm like that. I'm really bad like that. If I go to if I pick up a book at Marvel or DC and I see a pretty cover, I get inside as soon as I open it up. If the art is not where I like it, I can't read the book. I stopped collecting that book. I've been a Batman follower, reading comic book or Spider-Man. They changed the artist that I don't like. I'll stop reading it. I don't care how good the story was. It's like, I don't care what happens to him. Spider-Man may have died in the next issue. I don't care. You know, it's just you lost me with the art. So I won't go and read it. I'm just being honest.
Well, I think, you know, we're eight. You know, we all have those tendencies, right? Those little things that draw us into a book or push us away from it. Like if you pick up The Listener and you can't understand what's happening in it by the artwork, not even reading it, if you can't follow it by just the artwork, we've done something wrong as a team. You know, because I don't think that everybody that picks up a comic book reads a comic book. As a kid, you know, I used to hop on and just be like, I love the artwork. You know, that's what I'm going to follow because of the artwork.
Absolutely. Now, we can't make this all about the continuum as much as I would love it to be. So we're going to move on to the next campaign. What we're going to do today, because of all the problems I'm having, we're going to show all the Kickstarters that are ending soon to make sure we get all those and all of the new ones that were just added, because we're gonna wind up going over an hour already, and I don't want to keep people longer than we have to. So, plus I don't have being on my laptop's not always the same as the other places I could be on. So this is all off of the top of my head. So please bear with me. But one of the things that we want to look in is Preston Poulter's video. Now, remember, guys, I know Preston is this is your first time being on the show. Peterson, I mean, I'm reading Preston's name. Peterson, we raise our hand because I can't see you when we play most of the videos. So if you get bored for any reason, just hold up your hand. Because we're short on time, we're going to make it basically like Mortal Kombat style. One hit and it knocks the video off. So if anyone gets bored, it's Mortal Kombat tonight. That's it. The video's done. So watch the video, and the minute you lose your interest, hit back or hit your show off your backer pause by raising your hand. We'll come out and we'll talk about why you experienced backer pause and what everyone else thought. So this is Make 100 Guinevere from Preston.
Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics, and Guinevere 5 Make 100 adult cover is now available. This campaign is running on Kickstarter. Get it now. There's only going to be 100 copies. For those of you unfamiliar, when I finish an issue, and by the way, the color on the last page of Guinevere 5 is about to be finished. The lettering has already begun. So this...
That was me. I couldn't. He's talking about production. He hasn't even told me what the story's about. Right then and there, my attention span was like, wait a minute, what? You're not even, you're telling me you're making something that I don't know. And because we are short on time, I'm going to be honest. That was it. That's all it took for me to be like, all right, I have to go look at the Kickstarter to see what you're doing. Mike, what did you think? Or Dustin. Go ahead, Dustin.
I was just agreeing with you. You know me, I'm too nice. You know what I'm saying? But no, I agree with you entirely. I kept waiting for him to tell me what we were talking about. You know, that's a key thing because, like I said earlier, people only have such an attention span for so long. So if we get to this point and you're talking about lettering, and I'm like, cool, man, all my books are done before I even go to Kickstarter, so I have no interest in this part. You know, this is not something that even draws my attention. The RB White cover, that drew my attention more than your entire 15, 20 seconds. You know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Peterson? What did you think of what you did see with my attention?
Yeah, I wanted to see more of that. More of that cover.
Yeah, more of the art, right? And he doesn't.
Yeah.
I sat through it last week. He does not show art. He sits there the whole time just talking, not showing beautiful art. I know Mike was going to hit pause in like 10 seconds too.
He's waiting for it. Yeah.
Mike's a nice guy.
Yeah. I think it would have been okay for him to start talking about production at the end, that how close he is to being finished, to let people know that they're not going to have to wait long to get the comic. But don't do that at the beginning when we're not vested in the story. We're not vested in besides that one picture, that's all you got. I don't know about that. It's like a fancy Marvel cover. It's like you don't trust it until you look inside.
Yep.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, that's so annoying. I remember the X Factor back in 2000s. They switched over to this artist that, like Mike said, that was it. I couldn't. It was just so hard. And then the covers were fantastic during that run. But you'd open the book and it like I started to think I could do better, and I can't. But I even thought I could do better. All right, guys, we're going to move on. By the way, we wanted to give a shout out to Illusion Witch and Rammer, both successfully funded, including The Mighty Might by C.B. Zane. Amazing job on all you guys doing what you do. Keep it up. It's not easy to crowdfund. You guys all do the hustle and you get things done. So quick shout out. This we don't have a video for. It's Knox County 2. It's got a few hours left. This is the second book. Check it out. It's Niberian Mysteriously. Neobara. What do you think, Mike? What's that word?
Neobara.
There we go.
I'm gonna tear it up too.
Mysteriously overcome by supernatural being, and it's up to the teenagers to save the day. It's another Power Rangers thing.
Okay.
That's cool.
Nice.
And look, we're giving out free comics today. Everyone who watches can get a free 144-page, 8-page challenge that came to life through Comic Book School. You can find that by going to comicbookschool.com.
And I had part in it.
Yeah, he did. He actually had a page, and that page is on my wallpaper. I use it for other things. I love it. It was really cool. And Lily, the Demoness, we're not going to play this video because it actually has nothing to do with it. This is a live-action video. It's so cool. Go see it right now on the Kickstarter. But it gives no information, and because we're short on time tonight, we're not going to watch it. But I wanted to give a shout-out to that.
That book's smashing right now, too. Like,
yes.
It's smashing.
Oh, he's doing amazing. That's why I don't feel bad not playing the video. You don't need me. He doesn't. He's a friend. He gave it to me, and he said, yeah, show it off, have fun. And I'll give you just a quick look at this video. I'm going to leave it right there so you all go watch and see what crawls out of the hole. So there you go.
That
seems like to be a big theme.
Yeah, I'm going to give a sizzle reel.
I did read it, and it's interesting. It's a cool take on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's original. I dig that. I dig originality. So.
All right, so let's check out what happens at any port. And, yeah, where's any port? All right. I got heel turn. I might not have any port for some reason, which makes no sense. So we're going to move on quickly to the next one, and I'll see if I can't find it while we're playing the next video. So we'll go with the Sapphire Spectre. And this is actually a funny video, so I actually like this one. So let's see if you guys, Funny Bones, is working.
Hey, Quick reintroduction. Alive, Sylvia Sloan, dead, Sapphire Spectre. Now, just wanted to take this time to thank everyone who backed issue number 1. We were floored by the turnout and the response, and we had a blast fulfilling it. And oh man, you guys are gonna love issue 2 even more, because I finally meet and fight my ultimate nemesis, the Violet Void.
Hi, Senpai!
What the f***?
Silly Senpai, you don't fight Violet Void until issue 3. You get to hang with me in issue 2.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I know. I just forgot.
Don't worry, I'll show off the interiors. Exposition power, go! What's the girl? The Senpai TV. I'm the world with the terrible TV. I'm eating back up in my eyes, but there's nothing I can buy. But I'm stuck around
Oh, Dustin killed it.
I love James and I love this project. I can't stand that music. Like it is too much. It's like I love anime, I love manga. I am 100% in. You know what I mean? But it was too much. It was almost like grating when you're listening to it. You know, you're just like, Jesus, is this part going to end yet? Because I'm ready to. You know, the voice acting with the little demon thing is cool, and you know, her talking to it's great. You know, I've done things like that with my ads. They're a lot of fun, but that it just got it was too much. You know, I think that we go from hey, look, this is cool. You know, we're interesting. You know, you lost me a little bit at the beginning, then you pick me back up with this. That's fun, but that was too much, bro. It was just too much. If you'd have left that out altogether and you just been like, bam, here's the title, I'd have been with you through the end of the video. But I'm literally going to turn it off just because I don't want to listen to that. You know what I mean? If we're being legit and honest about things right now on Backer Pause.
I'm loving Dustin. We got Dustin in a new gear. He's used to. This is what happens when they come back the third time. They're not nice anymore. They're real. This is when people start being real. This is the real world. Kickstarter.
I love Hey, look, I love the book. I'm just being honest about the commercial. That's all. So.
What do you think, Peterson?
Yeah, I think I agree with Dustin. I like the art and like the funny, but I think the music was a little bit annoying. Yeah.
All right, Mike.
But I think I'll read it. I'll read that. You know, I like the art. I like the creator.
The story's dope. I mean,
let's do Good Guy Silly. What's Good Guy Silly gonna say?
I thought it was original. It caught my attention at the beginning. And I loved her interacting. That's like some Roger Rabbit kind of stuff that's being implemented on a budget, which is amazing. That's pretty impressive. And then they showed me art. And so the music didn't bother me, but I seen art and it was good art. And so I was still in. So my hand wasn't going to go up because I thought manga, anime, and I've heard them even at cons talking like that, and it's just like, I guess maybe I'm used to it from Comic Cons, the girls that speak like that, that kind of stuff.
I'm glad you can do it better than I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about how Mike got good at that later after the show's over.
Oh.
All right, did find the Anyport video. It just was right in front of my face, and I didn't look. Like a man, right? Just tell him it's in the closet. Did you look? I did. It's right in front of you. This is Anyport.
Oh, hello, Billy. What have you got there?
Oh, I've got my teleportation device.
Wow. And where are you teleporting off to today?
I'm teleporting to Tokyo, Japan.
Have fun.
Stop! Was someone just teleporting here? Teleportation is dangerous, it is irresponsible, and it is illegal! Roll a clip!
just when you thought it was safe to teleport, your body parts wind up somewhere they shouldn't. Your butt winds up on your face, and your face winds up where your penis is. I could let it play, but I just couldn't.
Was that you, Rob?
Yeah, that was me.
I was like, wait a minute.
I'm like, why are you talking through this?
That's not what it says. Did they hire you to do the voice acting?
No, but look at the stuff that they had. That was horrific. I'm scarred for life. The way that they told the people.
Is this that alley thing that we were looking at before? Where the lightning was hitting the floor? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this is something different.
He sent me the book a little bit ago. I enjoyed the story. Like I said, it's original. If you can bring me something original, I can. As a writer, I'm not an artist. You know what I'm saying? So if you can bring me an original story, I dig that. That's where Mike and I have in common. You know, he looks at the art and enjoys the art a lot, and he can walk away from art. Whereas I see the same story told 50 million times. You know, from DC to Marvel, even to Image, because of certain artists that have gone over there to write back and forth numerous times, right? We've seen the same stories. And it's sad because even in the industry, the indie industry, they pop up. They don't stay long, but they still pop up, you know? So when I see something original, it makes me go, okay, I got you. You know what I mean? Because I look at, like, as a creator, I look at the fact that I know my books cost me $6,000+ to produce every time I put one out, you know? So I look at these guys and I'm like, they may not have that, but they have a dope story. So I can vibe with people and totally understand where they're coming from. So I dug it. I enjoy the story. So
reminds me of Rick and Morty, but like the horrificness of it, that's that. Oh no, don't show me pictures like that in the video. Just think about like your business just winding up in different parts and you're like soup, because they look like they're alive on the other side. So you're just soup on the other side, like your bones are next to you and you're just the blob. I can't do it. I can't. No.
Well, that all started with Nightcrawler, and you know him telling you that in when X-Men originally came out, he didn't want to teleport anywhere that he couldn't see. Mm-hmm. You know, so the concept is very interesting because I mean, in reality, that's what would happen if your dumbass puts in the wrong number or wherever you're supposed to land. You know, you're just gonna mess yourself up.
Yeah, I made a whole story about teleporters. And they accidentally shift in between different universes, and they wind up trying to send a nuclear bomb, and they blow up the wrong planet. So then there's like these cops that go around to all the different universes trying to stop teleportation because it's so dangerous. So I dig it. It's too horrific, Mike. I'm gonna call you at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep now, Mike.
Oh gosh.
Mike, I can't sleep. There was that horrible teleporter thing. Like, where was their junk, Mike? Where was their junk?
I'm turning off my phone now.
But it does look awesome.
Out, and the Fly is just gonna.
Oh, I got traumatized by The Fly. You're right, Peterson. I don't even talk about The Fly. That was the most disgusting movie ever. And I love Jeff Goldblum. I still can't watch it to this day. As an adult, it still scares me.
Yeah, they go up there with the cringe.
Oh, man. Oh, and he vomits and eats the food again. I can still see it. Do not have an eidetic memory. Do not have an eidetic memory that's photographic. It's the worst thing ever. Okay, let's move on. But this project does look cool. I agree with Dustin. I would read this. But I would just call Mike up and be like, I can't sleep again. I read the comic. All right, so let's check out, speaking of The Fly, let's check out Insectikid. There's no video here for this one, actually. This is just Insectikid. And he's Harkham's coffee-loving customer and help him discover his power in time to stop the reptilians. So that's a pretty easy one. Speaking of wrestling, I have a wrestler in my book for Hero. In this book, Continuum, I have a story in the Continuum, HEROiX, that is about a wrestler, is what I was trying to say. This is a different take on a wrestler. What if a wrestler was like Dexter? Let's find out how that mixing happens. This is Heel Turn.
Hey guys, I'm Will, writer and co-creator of the new mini comic series Heel Turn. Heel Turn is about the life of a guy named Ethan Johnson. Ethan works a 9-to-5 job just like everybody else. But on the weekends, he puts a mask on and he entertains his fans as the archangel of extreme, Ethan Edwards, an independent professional wrestler. But the side that people don't know about Ethan is truly a sadistic serial killer. Hey, everybody needs a hobby, right?
Come on, man. You can't stop the music. Mike, you can't stop the music. Why would you hit pause on that?
Too much art.
Wow.
When you going on that,
needed some words
of the story away with it, because that's where I was at. I felt like we got to see the whole book in the video.
Yeah, the whole book. I could tell you a lot about it when he was a kid, how he started. I mean, I got a lot. I mean, visually, it told the story well, but I don't think he should be giving it away like that.
Yeah, you don't even need to buy it now, right?
No, I could tell you he started as a kid, became a wrestler, bad guys like.
Hey, spoilers! I haven't read it yet.
Me neither.
I like the throwback to that old adage about living in Florida and being able to take people out to a pig farm, though. That's pretty dope. Because I grew up in Florida and we all heard that. It was either, drop them off at the St. Augustine alligator farm or take them out to the pig farm. You know what I mean? So,
what part of Florida they doing this at?
Hey, man, I worked for a private police force in Jacksonville, so I saw a lot.
Wow. Stuff really happened. Like the pigs would eat them, and then also I heard about that in New Orleans too, in the bayou where you can make bones and people disappear.
Yep, pigs eat just about anything.
Yes, they do. Don't forget about Alligator Alley. That's a great place to get rid of some bodies as well. Not that I'm planning anything, but it's good to know. Good to know. All right, so we're going to be showing off Ace Blade, which apparently the preview image isn't showing off. We'll get that fixed in just a second, but this is Ace Blade.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Danny J. Quick, and I'm here to talk to you about the 5th installment of our superhero comic book series, Ace Blade. And this one is called Villain Season. Okay? I've been writing comic books for about 10 years now, and sometimes it can get a little bit frustrated. And that's where Ace Blade is right now. He's frustrated. He's been doing this for almost a year. Sometimes I think we just aren't where we're supposed to be in the self-publishing journey. Sometimes, we see things online that makes us mad. Sometimes we have setbacks. That's where Ace Blade is right now. So at this point, he's been fighting crime in Vegas City for almost a year, and he doesn't feel like he's made the impact that he wants to at this point. Yes, he's done some good things. He can see where he's saved people and he's helped out in the city, but there's still so much to do, and he's just kind of worn down at this point. Ace Blade doesn't have any superpowers, so fighting people like Blackjack and Hammer Hands and Roulette and Gutshot over and over and over again is kind of wearing down on him. And he's starting to get to that edge where he's just like, ugh. Then at the same time, in his real life, he's got to worry about paying the bills. Crime fighting ain't cheap. And as a business owner myself, I can relate to Ace Blade having to deal with paying a bill and also wanting to do the things that he wants to do. So this book is a 36-page special edition. So it's a $10 book, but we also have 4 variant covers, and we might add a 5th a little bit down the line. We also have hats, t-shirts, stickers, graded comics available for rewards if you're a collector. We also have versions of things for the villains if you like them. So if you're a fan of one of the villains, if you're a fan of Roulette or Blackjack or Hammer Hands, you can get a sticker for those guys too. So again, thank you for watching.
There we go. Sorry about that. For some reason, it wasn't doing it. So talk to me. What made you guys lose interest? Because that dude's awesome.
Man, so yeah, I mean, I like the energy, right? The energy's great. I like the fact that he's showing off some of his character work and stuff like that. I also like that he's, unlike me, who's not in his office. He's in his office. I'm not. So it's like, I like the fact that he's showing some things off. My issue is, especially with the merch, Rob, we've talked about that, T-shirts and hats and stuff. I love that, because BGD will be the first book that I do merch on. So I'm really excited about it. But he starts showing off books, okay? And like, I've been selling books a real long time. When you start showing people 9.6 books on a brand new book, that's telling me that your printer is not where your printer needs to be at. Because if you're getting 9.6s and you're sending 9.6s off and getting them graded, and they're coming back, I don't know that that's the quality that I, as a collector, am going to look at. Mind you, I don't know this individual's printer, but I'm saying from my perspective as a seller, you know what I mean, a book flipper, someone who's worked in the industry a long time, that's something people look at. My suggestion would be go back, do your video, toss on some fat 9.8s that you just got graded. And we all know CGC's behind. I get it. That's why you don't see any CGC books in my video, because right now they're behind. So I would caution showing 9.6s to anybody doing a video, because that's going to make me walk away from it altogether.
What do you think, Mike Seeley? Why'd you pause it?
He started losing me, and with the explanation about the 9.6 and slabbing a book. I'm still about, especially with Kickstarters, let me get the story, let me read the story and decide the value of it. If I really like it, then I'll have it slabbed, but I don't want to buy a book that's slabbed and I haven't even vested in it. That's just me.
Mike's being really nice. What he would tell me is that I'm being too wordy and I have to get rid of all the words and I have to make it go quicker. What did you think, Peterson?
I mean, I don't hate it. I was laughing. The music got me in there, but I wouldn't back it. I don't know why. I guess because I didn't see the interior pages. I would like to see more of the sequential stuff.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes a Kickstarter for me. If I see like the inside, yeah.
For sure. I think that we can all agree to that, because Mike mentioned I should show more of that. I agree that we should. We try to show in the movement videos that we do. Those are pages that we've actually added motion to. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So and speaking of that, anytime you guys see a video from me, those are interior pages.
Oh, I didn't know that, because
absolutely
they didn't seem to have any panels on it.
Yeah. So like what he does is he'll take a panel. He'll take a full panel and do that
and just move it. Okay.
What he does. But yeah, so I'm with that, and Mike made me think about that. So I'm watching that as well now. You know what I mean? If there's more of it, and I'm going, man, here I showed a bunch of them. I need to show more now. You know what I mean? I need to, so if that's a thing, we definitely need to be paying attention to it. And I support that. I'm behind that. So. If Mike's raising his hand because of that, know that my hand's going to be like right after his now, because I'm paying attention to this showing panels thing.
Yeah. So, Mike, this is no video, but I know you like the art because you actually mentioned to me that you wanted to know more about this. This is Nightfall from Michael, The Awakening 1-2. A normal college quarterback has told the truth about his mother, about what lies within him. Oh, my. The art in this, like the cover art in this, is really awesome. But we don't have a video, so we're going to move on to our next campaign, and that next one is going to be... Actually, we're getting close to the end now. We have two. We're going to play a video for our friend Sylvester Mons, and he has a pretty cool... we don't have a cover for some reason. I don't know. Being on this computer, some of the things aren't showing right, so I do apologize. But this is for Realms of Spirits. By the way, you can be seen in this video.
Ah. My name is Sylvester Evans. I am the writer and creator of Realm of Spirits. Realm of Spirits starts 8 days before Moses was born. There's a prophecy about 8 jewels of power that are given to 8 Hebrew children of angelic birth. The Pharaoh, Rasmus, knows about this prophecy, and he plans to take the jewels of power for himself. Little does he know there are also demonic forces after the children of power. With that being said, we have issue 1, which is called Realm of Spirits, Birth of a Living Storm. That is already printed out and ready to go. However, the first Night of Prophecy story is not complete yet. In order to do so, we must tell you the second Night of Prophecy, which will tie right back in to the first Night of Prophecy. I want to thank everyone for liking and sharing this campaign, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
All right, guys, what'd you think?
I feel like I was in it before he started talking a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And but you know, it looks awesome. Like the art looks really, really, really good.
I think it's dope too, man. You're right about that. The art looks really solid. And, you know, look at Mike. Mike knows that. So if you guys, for those of you that are picking up indie books and stuff, are paying attention, this is whoever's doing his interior work is super solid. Like that is super solid. And their colorist, and I'm not trying to throw things out to cause contention or conversation about it, but to be able to color different hues on darker individuals is very, it's not easy. So to be able to make people look good like they should look, that's next level artwork, man. You know, because you can be like, hey, look, can you do an African American male? And somebody that doesn't, jaw structure, anything, somebody that doesn't do that and doesn't, practice doing that, you can tell, and it's awesome. It's really cool to see that kind of thing. And my books are about theology, so I'm definitely behind what he's going on right there. So that's pretty sweet.
Mike?
Yeah.
Me? Oh.
Or Peterson?
Art, the cover art was very different from the interiors, but the interiors I really liked. It was good for storytelling. Looks like it. The colors, again, popped out to me. And he said a very interesting point, because I grew up where there was no light-skinned people in comic books. They're dark-skinned, and like my color skin didn't exist in comic books, and still almost don't exist, kind of thing. So I understand it must be really hard, because almost nobody can do it in 40 years or something like that, 50 years, technology-wise. Maybe that's something we can tap into at Continuum Comics. More color variation.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge, nod, nod. As long as you don't go out and do Black Thunder, we'll be all right.
Black Thunder.
What do you think, Peterson?
No, yeah, I think it looked pretty cool. I mean, I would like to read it. I would like to know what was going on. But I think when he holy God, I guess not. But when he came in and started talking, and the camera, I don't know if it's the camera angle or his energy was low, or I guess he's more of a writer and not a salesperson,
Yeah.
Like when I made my video, I had to do it like 7 times because my wife kept going like, more energy, do it again, do it faster. And I'm like, get out the room. But that sometimes can help, but that wouldn't stop me. Him being like that wouldn't stop me from
no,
for sure.
This is phenomenal art, man.
Yeah,
all across. It's not a page there that I didn't enjoy looking at.
All right, guys, last video for tonight. This is forbidden. I warn you, this is a little loud. Turn down your speakers right now, because
too late for that.
Yeah, that thing sort of played for a second for some reason as I was queuing it up. But here we go. So anyone listening, turn down. If you have your headphones in, take it out, because it's like obnoxiously loud in the very beginning. Here it is.
I created Forbidden back in 2000. In 2005, it was well received by critics and fans alike at Comic-Cons and local stores. My goal for Forbidden was to create an epic fantasy tale that would last for generations. I recruited a local artist, Anibal Arroyo, who took the helm on illustrating the first 2 issues, and only 2 issues back then. After over a decade...
Mike tapped out. What do you got, Mike?
I have a thing against people that build up too much when they like the most epic tale ever told. No one's ever told this before. It took 20,000 years to make this, and here it is, and it's just like, oh, it's all right. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just like, let us kind of decide, tell us what the story is, and then when we get a chance to read it, we can go back and tell people how amazing and epic it is. But don't feed people, and they don't like broccoli, and you feed them broccoli.
But it's good for you.
It's good for you. So I've read some of his books. I've done shows with him. Great dude. I like his other stuff. I think his other videos more than I like this video. I think this video is very different for him. So the whole talking about the accolades first, like if it's easy to talk about ourselves and use ourselves as examples because it's what we do. You know what I mean? So it's like I'll wait. Like I waited to the very end to be like, hey, look, this is what people thought about my book. You know what I mean? Here is some of the stuff of my book. See what you think about it. Now here's what other people thought. You know what I mean? I'm my own worst critic, so I'll wear my own ass out. You know what I mean? But there's a way to show your stuff versus pat yourself on the back, and that's how I'm going to put it. You know what I mean? There's a way to do it, and it's just very different. That's my opinion.
I have Mike over my shoulder who makes me not use certain words, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Mike says, like, you're not allowed to say that. I'm like, okay. What'd you think, Peterson?
Yeah, I guess I agree with the bragging, but it felt like the art was getting better when the video got stopped. It looked like it was kind of sketchy in the beginning, and then like it started looking like this. So I was just waiting to see like what they said what bothered me as well, but I was waiting to see what the inside now looks like,
Well, we can take a quick look at the Kickstarter while we're here.
Oh yeah, they did really well.
Forbidden 2, right? Here we go. Let's take a quick look because you're making a solid point. The art seem to be evolving, and that happens over with indie books, especially independent creators. They get you see the growth of the artist, So yeah, that art's solid. Let me blow it up for you guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's like Mike said, it's different from like that CG look. It's different from, I don't know if that's the cover.
I think it's just the cover. I think they have that one cover. Yeah.
So that sometimes like, gets me, like I don't like that. Like but this is not, I don't, at first glance, I don't see anything wrong with the art. It might be, the colors might be a little muddy, but maybe that's the mood.
What do you think, Mike? Mike's being quiet, so he's trying not to say anything rude. So I'll let Mike off the hook. And I'll pass it to Dustin.
Yeah,
what do
don't
you
go to me.
What?
Don't go to me.
Oh wow. Okay.
No,
all being on the show today.
I like the concept of this. I like the concept. But it's very hard. That's the hardest part about the show. That's why I was hesitant about coming on it originally, because I compare people, myself, to everybody I'm around because they're my peers. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if I like somebody, it's hard for me to be honest as a peer about if I dislike something. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I back my friends. You know what I mean? I back their plays because they're my friends. That's what I do. But if you look at my artwork in all three of my IPs, I don't ever want my artwork to be outshined by my covers and vice versa. You know what I mean? If I've got a $600 cover artist, you best believe my interior art's going to meet my $600 cover artist. Even then, even with the first issue agreed, okay, and I'll use, because it's my own book, I'll knock my own book. I'm not, no qualms with it. You know what I mean? There are parts in it where I had to go back after we put out the first issue and go, hey, and I love Manuel. I do. He's a great friend of mine. Will stay on my team to the end of days. But I had to go, look, man, you slipped back into that cartoon-esque style. You went from this real dark. We get to page 20 out of 24, and it gets back into that cartoon because you're a cartoonist. You start slipping a little bit. You know what I mean? For the next book, we can't do no slipping. You know what I'm saying? So there are nuances. Like, it's like an artist. When an artist picks up their work and they're like, I can always do better. I can always do better. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're our own worst critics. But I have 18 guys on my team and ladies. You know what I'm saying? I have 18 people that work with me. So it's like I have to critique all this artwork on a daily basis. So when it's hard for me not to be brutally honest with other people's artwork, because I hold people to a standard. If you want me to spend money, it has to meet the standard you're asking me to hold. So yeah, I dig the concept, and that's read between the lines. That's how I feel about it, though. I dig the concept and the story, and it's a great team of people. So
I'm always trying to elevate myself and learn like the how the body moves, and it's everybody kind of. I think we lost him again. His power might have went out again, but I'll just continue what I was going to say. I like the body and angles and stuff like that. And I know everybody can't be at a certain level in art and they want to create. And I'm all about creation, but the consistency is still is key. And the art was a little muddy. I
feel like the color themselves, like when it goes from like shadow to light, maybe because the ink didn't provide like the shading or explain the light source, so the colorist had to do a lot.
Oh,
so it gets, and he used a lot of like just gradient, so it just looks like soft, I think.
For sure.
And that's what makes it muddy to me, you know.
And it loses it loses something along that.
Well, and especially when you look at digital artwork, okay, a digital artwork, and I'm not saying it's easier or anything like that. I'm an engineer, I get it, but at the same time, if I do a character, every time I do that character, their arm's going to be the same length. If it's digital, every single time, you know what I mean? And that's something that as creators, we have to understand, and that's what we used to do with Marvel and DC as kids, right? We would look past certain things. As adults, we look back and go, man, that Captain America's chest is way too big. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But as kids, we were like, oh, yeah, that's Captain America, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. It's Captain America. Didn't matter who did the art. You were a fan because you were a kid. That was your dude. Didn't matter who messed it up, right? So as you get older, and you're in the industry and you start going, okay, maybe they didn't take classes, fine, right? But once you get into from pen to paper to digital, it's a different animal, okay? So if you create a character, shame on you if you don't save it. Shame on you, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to build a rig for something, you need to make sure you keep it, because chances are the character's coming back in another issue. You want to have that rig so you can drop it right into the panel, move it to where you want it to be. And I think the real test of doing that nowadays is being able to make it not look like it was a 3D render. You know what I mean? To color it, to make it look like it's done by hand now. You know what I mean? Nobody wants an overly digital book anymore. You know, when it first came out, it was cool. It was like watching what was the show that came on Toonami that everybody liked? Bit. Oh my gosh, it was like the
Max.
Yeah. Right. So they were all in the digital world and whatnot, and it was cool. And Beast Wars was another one.
Beast Wars is the same way.
That was super dope, right?
Yeah.
Really, really cool. But when you're looking at a 2D image versus a film, we have to be able to keep the aspect ratio that we're looking at. Is this the right angle? Does this look how it's supposed to look? I'm just saying, use your tools to your benefit and don't work against yourself with these tools you're using. You know.
All right, guys. Before I lose power for the 5th time during this program, let's all go around the room and say our goodbyes. We'll start with Peterson and work our way backwards from how you came in. So, Peterson.
Well, yes. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Rob, Mike, and nice to meet. The name, I can't read his name.
Oh, shit, it's a pleasure, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out Dustin. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out your book. I searched for you on Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
So I'm awful, and that's
there's like one picture
Rob,
there.
Rob will tell you. Everybody will tell you. I'm terrible with stuff like that because
okay.
I keep Facebook up like religiously, like it's an umbilical cord, you know, because I've got a 2-year-old and I've got a 10-year-old too. You know, anybody that's a parent knows what it's like to chase them around and stuff. But comic books is a full-time gig for me, you know, so it's like I just, it's easier, you know, to follow one form of media, and I can give everything I've got to that one form of media versus trying to jump here and jump there and go, hey, did you support so-and-so over there? And I'm like, dude, I like everything they post over here, you know what I mean? Hashtag them over here, you know, so nah, dude, I need to do better.
It's fair, and like Instagram, it's its own it's its own job. You know, I had to pull back a little bit because it's like I either try to get followers or I try to get, do jobs and
right,
because you gotta be on it all the time. But I fully understand you, yeah. But yeah, no, man, I'm gonna be looking for your book, and
I appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully I see you in the convention circles, in the future.
Yeah.
Where can we follow you, Peterson? You never mentioned.
Where can we find you at, man?
You can find me on Facebook, Peterson Oliveira. You can find me on Instagram. Nazartap Art is just my name backwards and art. Or you can also find the page, the comic that I'm working on, The Angel of Sad Hill on Instagram. And
That
so
sounds good.
those two, yeah.
That name is just dope. So whatever.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
That's cool.
Dustin, when's your next campaign?
Well, the Listener Beginnings is live right now. And then, so we've got MegaCon coming up. We'll start. I've got a promo book for Babes Gore and Dinosaurs coming out, and that promo will have that 8-page promo at MegaCon with me because Jim Noble and I are doing a con circuit this fall. So that's where we're actually starting, and I'll be there with Kyle Willis for Cowabunga too. So, but. Yeah, so BGD will start there. You'll be able to get your 8-page promo there at MegaCon, only at MegaCon, and then 2 days after MegaCon, we'll start my next campaign, and that'll be for BGD, full color 24-page comic book as usual for me. I think we've got 9 covers from that book coming out, and it is being a totally rad book. It is super. It's not porn, but it is a very adult book. It is a anthropomorphic dinosaur story mixed with Blade Runner. So I'm really, really excited about it.
Yes.
And to show you guys a different art style. And I'm sure if you guys follow me on Facebook or see anything on Facebook, you've seen some panels from it. It's very different from me, because if you look at The Listener and then you look at Greed, they're very, very different. The art styles are very, very different. And then you get into BGD. I'll toot my own horn about BGD for the style that it is. I would put it next to any book on the market right now. And I'd have Mike look at it. Hey, Mike, judge it between, you could put it up next to Spawn right now, the current issues of Spawn. and tell me what you think. And I will send you, when we get off the show tonight, Mike, I will send you some panels, see what you think about it. But it's a lot of fun.
I want to see it.
I've got a book out every month
I just
for the rest of the year. So it'll be BGD in August, Greed in September, The Listener back in October. So yeah, like I said, I do it full time. So I've got Kickstarters running all year for the rest of the year.
Did y'all lose me?
Your audio is back. But yeah, so you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Kickstarter. The best way, if you're interested
Anybody?
in seeing, I think we lost you, dude. The best way to see any of my stuff is follow me on Facebook, because it is an open. I don't have a hidden account or whatever that is, Rob. You know what I mean? It is
this you?
That is me, my friend. That is me. And that is a picture from BGD right there in the front, blown up, so it looks silly because it's so. I had to zoom in so far, but there's a lot to be said about doing a book every month. It can be super stressful, but it's definitely paying off. So.
All right, Mike, I think we lost him, unfortunately. You can find him, the Eclipse Comic, on Instagram. You can find him, MJS, I think, is his Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. Or look up Mike Seeley, either one. Of course, Continuum Comics. And we're going to play the Continuum video on the way out tonight, because this is in honor of all of us being part of it. And then you'll find out about the power of a dollar. Remember, $1 can get you any one of the stories from the Continuum HEROiX, and a couple of the ones from the original Continuum. So thank you all for being guests tonight. You guys are awesome judges. Thank you for being part of the show. I appreciate you. Hang out so we could say goodbye. Maybe Mike will show up and I won't lose power, and I'll have 5 minutes where I can talk with lights on. So this is our Continuum video for HEROiX right here.
Welcome to the Continuum's second issue as it hits Kickstarter with a superhero landing, and it's out to explore HEROiX, featuring the origin of April and the beginnings of the Hardcore Chronicles. This is In Harm's Way, Part 1. An angel from Sad Hill takes a stand as we see this angel's origin. It's the angel of Sad Hill. A young woman who glows blue has to decide what her future is as she tries to run from the past while playing hero. It's going to be a blue Christmas. A hero takes on an after-school job and gets more than he bargained for, along with his team and the legacy of the View, the after-school job. And Mr. Anderson is back with a new tale about a reluctant hero who'd rather be wrestling and is now heroing by the hour. And the Continuum changes forever in this issue. Back it now so you can find out how.
Thank you for watching, considering that. Go ahead, Mike, real quick. Tell them where they can follow you.
Mike_MJS on Instagram, Mike Seeley Artist on Facebook, and also my website is MikeSeeley.com. And check out my up-and-coming comic by following Instagram at _Eclipse Comic.
All right. Well, thank you for being part of it tonight. This is the power of $1. The power of a single dollar. One single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keep